Welcome to Unsolved Realms, the channel where real mysteries, unexplained events, and forgotten truths are brought back into the light. If you are drawn to true stories that defy logic and have never been fully explained, then stay with us. What you are about to hear is not a myth, not a rumor, and not fiction. It is a real historical mystery that has puzzled investigators for more than a century and remains unsolved to this day. On December 4, 1872, a British ship called the Gratia was sailing through the Atlantic Ocean, roughly 400 miles east of the Azores. The weather was calm. The sea was steady. Nothing seemed unusual. Then the crew noticed another ship drifting slowly in the distance. At first, this was not alarming. Ships often encountered one another at sea. But something about this vessel felt wrong. Its sails were partially raised. Its movement was slow and uneven. No signals were sent. No crew appeared on deck. As the Gratia approached, the name on the hull became visible: Mary Celeste. When boarding parties stepped onto the ship, they were not prepared for what they would find. The Mary Celeste was completely abandoned. Not damaged. Not wrecked. Not sinking. Just empty. The ship was seaworthy. The hull was intact. The cargo was secure. Food and water supplies were present. Personal belongings were untouched. The crew's clothing was neatly stored. The captain's pipe and navigation tools were still in place. The lifeboat, however, was missing. 10 people had been aboard the Mary Celeste when it left port. Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and 7 experienced crew members. All were gone. No bodies. No signs of violence. No struggle. The ship's last log entry was dated November 25th, 9 days earlier. According to the log, everything was normal. The weather was fair. The ship was progressing as planned. There was no mention of danger, panic, or unusual events. So what happened in those 9 days? Investigators searched every inch of the ship. They found no evidence of piracy. No bloodstains. No damage from a storm. The cargo, consisting of industrial alcohol, was intact and valuable. Nothing had been stolen. If pirates were responsible, they left behind everything worth taking. Even more disturbing, the crew's personal valuables were still on board. Money, jewelry, and important documents remained untouched. This ruled out robbery and murder. The captain was known as a disciplined, experienced seaman. He had no reason to abandon a perfectly functional ship in the middle of the ocean. He was traveling with his wife and young child. Whatever happened must have convinced him that staying on the ship was more dangerous than leaving it. That decision. Why would an entire crew abandon a seaworthy ship hundreds of miles from land? One of the first theories suggested that the alcohol cargo somehow exploded or released toxic fumes. Some barrels were found empty, but the barrels themselves were made of red oak, known to leak more than other materials. There was no fire damage. No scorch marks. No signs of an explosion. Another theory proposed that fumes from the alcohol caused hallucinations or fear, leading the crew to panic and escape in the lifeboat. But if that were true, why would they take no supplies? Why would an experienced captain choose a small lifeboat over a stable ship? Another possibility was that the ship experienced a sudden mechanical issue and sextant were missing. These tools would be needed to navigate if abandoning ship. This suggests that the crew left deliberately, believing they could return or reach land. But the nearest land was hundreds of miles away. If the lifeboat capsized or drifted away, the crew would have had little chance of survival. Some theories suggested mutiny. But Captain Briggs was respected, and there was no evidence of conflict. The crew had been carefully selected. No motive was ever established. Others proposed a sea monster, a rogue wave, or supernatural forces. These ideas captured public imagination, but offered no real evidence. The official investigation was thorough for its time. Witnesses were questioned. The ship was inspected repeatedly. Yet no explanation satisfied all the facts. The ship showed signs of partial flooding in the hold, but nothing severe enough to justify abandonment. The pumps were functional. The weather had been calm. It was as if something invisible had convinced 10 people that remaining aboard meant certain death. The Mary Celeste was eventually returned to service and continued sailing for years, as if nothing had happened. But the mystery followed it. In 1885, the ship was deliberately wrecked by its captain in an insurance fraud scheme. Even then, the sea refused to give up its secrets. To this day, no trace of the crew has ever been found. No lifeboat, no bodies, no wreckage. Just an empty ship drifting silently across the Atlantic. What makes this case so disturbing is not just the disappearance, but the choices made. Rational, experienced sailors chose uncertainty over safety. They chose the unknown over a ship that could have carried them home. Whatever happened aboard the Mary Celeste did not leave physical scars. It left a psychological one. Something created fear without damage, urgency without evidence, a decision that no sailor should ever make unless absolutely forced. Some mysteries end with tragedy. Others end with clues. The Mary Celeste ended with absence. A ship sailed without its people. A journey continued without its crew. And history was left with questions instead of answers. If you enjoy real unsolved mysteries like this, stories based on documented facts that remain unexplained even today, make sure to subscribe to Unsolved Realms. Turn on the bell notification so you never miss our next video, where we uncover more true cases that the world still cannot explain. This is Unsolved Realms, and this mystery remains unsolved.